Okay, so we have a new animated feature that has just dropped called Leo. It is directed by Robert Smigel, Robert Marianetti, and David Wachtenheim. It's actually Wachtenheim and Marianetti's feature directorial debuts. Robert Smigel also co-writes the film along with Adam Sandler and Paul Sado. Sandler also produces the film with Muriel Soria. It's executive produced by Barry Bernardi, Alan Covert, Paul Sado, co-produced by Brian Robinson, and a line produced by Daniel Cohen. Jeff Zanelli handles the music, JJ Titone and Patrick J. Vortberg edit the piece. Danielle Afero and Amber Horn were on casting duties. Josh Stubb, production design. Kirsten Anderson, art direction. Uh, and our cast. Right, we have Adam Sandler voicing Leo, Bill Burr voicing his best friend Squirtle. There is Mrs. Salanas, voiced by Alison Strong. Her replacement, Miss Malkin, is voiced by Cecily Strong. All right. Oh, huh. Yeah, they're both Strongs. I wonder if they're related. I don't even know. All right. The principal is voiced by Robert Schneider. Then we've got some of the kids, right? So there's Jada, voiced by Sadie Sandler. Summer, voiced by Sonny Sandler. Zane, voiced by Coulter Ibanez. I think Zane was in Bar Mitzvah with the girls. There's Cole 1, voiced by Bryant Tardy. Cole 2. Oh no, it's the same Cole, but the different versions of his voice. Voiced by so the low voice is Tardy, the high voice is Corey J. There's Anthony, voiced by Ethan Smeagol. Skylar, voiced by Tiana Safko. Logan, voiced by Gloria Manning. Cole 2, voiced by Carson Minier. Eli and Benji, voiced by Roy Smeagol. Mia, voiced by Reese Laws. Kabar, voiced by Benjamin Botani. TJ, voiced by Alden Liam Philspun. Jada's mum is voiced by Jackie Sandler. And who else do we have? Eli's mum is voiced by Heidi Gardner. We have Skylar's mum, voiced by Stephanie His. Skylar's dad, Ryan Yu. Anthony's dad, Nicholas Turturro. Anthony's mum, Rebecca Vigil. Summer's mum, Jane Haddad Tompkins. Summer's dad, Chris Tyone. Eli's dad, Paul Britton. There's Cole 2's mum, Tiffany Topple. Cole 2's dad, Dan Wrights. Kabir's mum, Sunita Param. Logan's mum, Sonia Leslie. Logan's dad, Gamar Terrell Gardner. Mia's mum, Rose Abdo. Mia's dad, Alex Quijano. TJ's dad, Christian Capozoli, Miss Wingo, Sheila Carisco, and then the miniature horse is voiced by Robert Smigel. Nick Swardson voices Cinnabon. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of kids, right? There's a lot of kids and animals. So there are some other ones, but they're the main crew, I would probably say, right? Now, the gist of the story is the last year of elementary school is seen through the eyes of a class pet. A jaded 74-year-old lizard named Leo has been stuck in the same Florida classroom for decades with his turtle terrarium-mate. When he learns that he only has 1 year left to live, he plans to escape to experience life on the outside, but instead gets caught up in his anxious students' problems, such as an impossibly mean substitute teacher. So, yeah, there we go. Now, after you are so not invited to my bar mitzvah, I was just down to check out a new Adam Sandler project, right? You know what I mean? It was just like, okay, let's do it, right? And so, I liked Hobie Halloween. The last few Sandler films, I was like the wrong Missy. I was down with. So I was like, yeah, let's do it again. Let's see what he does with an animated shit. You know what I mean? And yeah, I like this, right? I did like this. I feel it's not like there was something about bar mitzvah which was just works so well, right? I feel this is probably skewed at a slightly younger audience, but I could still appreciate what we have. And there was a charm to it, right? There was something about this that, it reminded me of a kind of hybrid of cartoons such as Peanuts, right? And Doug. I don't know if you remember the Doug cartoon, right? He was a little bald kid with a few little strands of hair, a green, an olive green, a vest jumper. You know the one, white t-shirt underneath, Doug, right? There was something about this that just reminded me of those two cartoons. You might need to be a certain age to know what Doug is, but I really know what the Peanuts are, right? Snoopy and the gang. But yeah, there was that charm about this. Now there was things I did not know. I did not know this was a fucking musical, right? I didn't know there was gonna be songs, but I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't mad because each song they kind of did in a different style with a slightly different animated style as well. So it's a bit like that episode of the After Party. Remember, the episodes of the After Party where each episode is done slightly differently, and there was that fun musical episode. Remember that one? Ah, that was great, right? But yeah, no, there was that. I had no clue Bill Burr was in it, right? Yeah, there's a lot of shit. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And we were gonna see this story through the eyes of the class pets, which I thought was an interesting kind of approach. Especially, when we see Leo getting taken home the first time, right? We are actually following the action for a while through his actual eyes. And I thought, oh, yeah, That's interesting. I like that. That works nicely, you know? And so we just get this old lizard offering his sage advice, which is kind of amusing, having this cranky animal, like just teaching these kids about life and shit. I thought because we've had Sandler kind of do this voice before. You know what I mean? Like in some films, he does the voice. I think he did it as the action figure in Big Daddy and some other things, but it's slightly different, right? It's not quite the same old voice, so it works. It works very well as the lizard. And Bill, Bill does seem like he's a perfect frigging turtle. I mean, they're both bald, right? So, the voice cast was really good. The voice cast was really good. And it's like you believe they're those people, right? Or those animals, which I like. I like that when you throw yourself into it and it's not just, oh, that's clearly Adam Sandler. No, because it was still slightly different. You know what I mean? So with all of these things and the story was decent. I think the story was decent, but this is the other big thing about this. Well, it also, I felt Doug and Peanuts, but it also had that 80s cartoon vibe because all the cartoons growing up, there were these like little messages in there, you know what I mean? And they weren't forced. I feel a lot of times these days, if there's a message in something, oi, it's properly shoehorned up inside something. You know what I mean? You're just like, yo, that's some clunky ass shit. What are you doing? What are you doing? Right? This, busy where he's imparting these messages to the kids, and then there's a song, you know what I mean? Like the one that talks too much. He's just like, yo, you know what? Sometimes people just wanna know you're listening, right? So ask them a question. And you just be like, you know what? That's a great little message right there. So it works within the story, but you can feel that a little kid watching this might be like, oh, people say I talk to, maybe I'm not asking people how they are. I should do that. Right. So it's imparting that wisdom, not just to the imaginary kids, but just the kids in general. And I think that's a nice little touch. It's yeah, I think it's a really enjoyable cartoon. It kind of gives you those vibes that things like Toy Story 3, right? Up, just those kind of things, right? I finished this and I was just smiling. I was smiling. The way they depict the tiny kids is amusing because these elementary school, they're not old kids, right? They're not old kids, but how do you differentiate them from the even younger ones, right? You make them look like little fucking road runners, you know what I mean? So I just thought, that's very well done. So hey, if you're a fan of Adam Sandler's stuff, the Happy Madison imprint, if you enjoy those things, I think you'll like this, right? If you want something nice for your kids to watch to impart some wisdom, hey, you couldn't go wrong by throwing them in front of Leo. You know what I mean? That will work for you. You know, it's yeah, I think it's perfect for them young kids, but even if you're older, I think it will make you smile, right? So Leo, it is on Netflix right now. Like the songs aren't at that Encanto level, but they're nice. They're nice. And there's a few little fun things like in oh gosh, it might be Summer's bedroom. Like there's a Hamilton style poster, but I think it's just called The Musical, right? So there's little things like that, like littered around the place, you know, that kind of make you go, oh, that's really meant to be. Okay, I see what they're doing there. So yeah. People, go get you some Leo.